Rose, are you ready to go back to Titanic? Hey, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. So apparently I crossed over. You know, they didn't expect me to wake up. Because hungry dogs run faster. I was hungry to live.
They call him the Hulk of business for the way he fights, builds, and refuses to quit. But 2 years ago, it wasn't a deal on the line. It was his life.
My wife's in the waiting room for 2-3 hours. They finally come out and say, hey, something happened. We had to go to plan B. And we don't know his neurological state. I didn't know, but you know, I was out in a coma for 3 days.
To understand how he got there and why he fought his way back, you have to go back to the beginning.
You want to hear the story? Rose, you ready to go back to Titanic? And I'm always looking at you? Yes. Okay. Tim Furey. I'm the founder and CEO of Tradeview Markets. Came from a humble background. Both my parents were teachers out in Long Island. They taught high school. You know, they wanted me to have a steady job. However, I'm wired differently. I was smart enough and talented enough, and I had the drive.
That fire, the one that turned him into what he calls the Hulk of business, didn't come out of nowhere. It started years earlier in college at Southern Connecticut State University.
I had some great mentors. One of the mentors was Jeff Stoutland. He was the hardest working human being I've ever witnessed. His thing was this saying, hungry dogs run faster. He would repeat that every day.
Hungry dogs run faster wasn't just a locker room mantra, it became his playbook. Fueled by that mindset, Tim dove headfirst into the world of finance.
And I made this company I was working at very successful. I took them from zero to hero in 2 years. I didn't get my fair share. They didn't stick to their agreement with me. And one day I got on a call with the principals and I was like, guys, you're not holding your agreement. And they're like, well, what are you gonna do about it, Furey? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, can you pay me my fair share? You know, what we agreed upon? Like, hey, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. And I'm like, oh, I got so angry that night. And when I get angry, I turn into the Hulk of business. I'm like, I'll do it on my own. And I figured it out one night how I was gonna do it on my own.
And he did. Tim started Tradeview with 3 close friends from Old Blue Rugby Club. They set up a tiny office on Wall Street, and Tim put in every dime he had.
And I believe I was number 4 and number 5 at the firm, and we had a little office in the city down this block. It started with passion, desire, focus, winning.
Tradeview Markets, we're an online brokerage, right? You trade stocks, you trade Forex, you trade commodities, you trade cryptocurrencies, all from your phone or from a desktop. You could trade 24 hours. From the first month we were in business and got things running, we were profitable. It just started going. It started growing organically. Next thing you know, we had 10 clients and we're celebrating every client, 20, 100, 1,000.
As Tradeview flourished, Tim's mission evolved, especially after the birth of his daughter.
So one of the things we support very deeply is women's rugby. Cayman's women's rugby, you know, it's in my heart. It started with 0 and now they're up to hundreds of women. They're changing these girls' lives. They are thriving and it's just a great and it's a beautiful thing.
We talk all the time, how can I help? He's looking at what's happening. He asks me all the time, how's the team? How are the kids? How's the administration? He wants to make sure he's given to the right area. He's very cognizant of what he's doing, and the bottom line is he wants to help.
With momentum on his side, Tim set his sights higher. New markets, bigger goals. He travels 6 months out of the year and keeps pushing boundaries. The latest, a bold expansion into Dubai.
Dubai is basically the new New York and the new London when it comes to financial landscape. So everybody's going there, everybody's opening offices there, and this is what the direction that we wanted to go to expand in a very lucrative region.
But in the middle of running a global company and welcoming his second child, one day, everything stopped.
I had a sore throat and just kept getting worse, and I was getting weaker. I got in the emergency room. Finally, a specialist shows up, looks at my throat, and he's like, in about 2 to 3 hours, you're gonna die. During the surgery, they weren't able to intubate me, so they had to do an emergency tracheotomy. Apparently, they had even trouble doing that. So my oxygen levels, it went down to about 30 for about 7 minutes. Oof. Apparently I crossed over. They didn't expect me to wake up, or if I did wake up, I'd be severely handicapped. People ask me did I have out of body experience? No, I didn't. The one thing I remember is, Tim, you gotta wake up if you want to live. Because I was just like so peaceful and comfortable, and I couldn't wake up, and I was fighting in my dream to wake up. I just think everything in my life led up to that moment, right? Where, the football in college, the hardships I had, the 3-day practices making me a tough person. To be able to survive in the summer heat in Connecticut during practice, trying to survive football camp and trying to get a starting spot. I'm thinking about those moments, and I'm like, if I can survive then, this should be nothing for me. I was hungry, dogs run faster. I was hungry to live. I wanted to live for the right reasons. I had more to do.
For Tim, it's not about avoiding the hits. It's about being ready for them. That drive didn't fade after the hospital.
We're on our way to be $1 billion company. We're almost there now. And from there, hopefully take it to the next level.
2025, with additional offices, additional regulations, additional products coming to market, is really gonna set us apart.
I'm excited. I'm in my 50s. Even though I joke around with myself saying, I should retire, Everybody around me, Tim, you gotta retire. I could retire yesterday, but no way. I am not done. To me, I just started. Now I have momentum. I'm gonna take this company to the next level, and it's gonna be something else.